Hi dancers, Miss Rebecca is here with part 2 of how to strengthen your port de bras. Now if you remember last time, we talked about how your port de bras, the movement of your arms, comes from your shoulder girdle and your scapula, which is this whole part back here. So first we need to talk about the main movements of the scapula. Okay, so first we have up and down, which we call elevation and retraction of the scapula. Then we also have protraction, which would be forward, moving the scapula, and retraction, which is squeezing them together. We also have outward rotation. When you take the arms out and up, the scapula actually do the same action and they rotate out and up that way. So what tends to happen, dancers, is when we're holding our arms in second or bringing them to fifth high or any dance position above the shoulder level, a lot of times we raise the shoulders and teachers will cue the dancers to say, press your shoulders down your back or pull your shoulders together on your back. Now, when dancers work really hard to do that, they squeeze the scapula together or work really hard to pull them down, and it ends up making our arms kind of stuck in this position. It pulls our weight back and our rib cage back. We don't want that. We want the scapula to be wide, not protracted, but just wide and flat on the back of your rib cage so you can move your arms easily and keep them nice and wide and open. So reasons that it might be difficult to move your scapula flat on the back or to keep your arms lifted and wide, elbows and wrists wide to the side, is because perhaps your lat muscles that run along your back have gotten overused and tight from trying to pull the shoulders down. So a way to stretch that, we'll go to the floor first. You need to lie on your back, yay, and pull your belly button in toward your spine, press your lower back into the floor. Now we're going to bring our arms overhead, our elbows in front of us, and our palms facing together. Go ahead and squeeze the elbows and the palms together and keep the ribs down as we float the arms over the head and back. Do that nice and slowly to focus on keeping the space between the back of the shoulder blades flat and your shoulders flat on your back as you reach them overhead and back. Keep your lower back pressed into the floor. So you can do this 8 to 10 times until you start to feel a nice little stretch. The next thing is we're going to squeeze the elbows together and just open from the elbows. The hands will float apart and back together. Open and back together. Trying to keep the top of the shoulders, the traps, nice and relaxed back down. You'll open, hold, and back together. Open, hold, back together. Complete that one 8 to 10 times. Okay, our next exercise, the next stretch we're going to do is to stretch the front of your pecs. Here, where your shoulders get tight from lots of texting, typing, sitting, hunched forward, or if you're doing a lot of push-ups. These muscles can get tight and kind of pull the shoulders forward. So the most beneficial stretch that I found for this comes from Pilates. It's nice and easy. You just get to lie on your back to one side, keep your hips and your shoulders stacked, and your palms face each other. Okay, again, we want the traps on the top of the shoulders to reach away from the ears. We're just going to slide the top arm forward, keeping our belly button engaged. We're going to reach the arm overhead, making a huge circle, and we're going to reach the arm as far as we can. Once we feel a tight spot, we're going to stay there a little longer and reach a little further, and complete the circle. Okay, so we'll go one direction 3 to 4 times, keeping the hips stacked. Don't let them roll open with you. And then you'll reverse. Let the head follow the circle, and you can try to let your shoulder blade touch the floor. And back. And full circle again, trying to open both shoulders to the floor, but the hips stay stacked. Reach, 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 all the way back. Okay, so you'll do 3 to 4 circles in each direction, both arms. now that you did those stretches and hopefully your lats and your pecs feel nice and open, we can work on some repatterning exercises. These exercises I borrowed from Dr. Marissa Schaefer. She is a doctor of physical therapy and she works mainly with dancers. And also for the second exercise, we're going to need a TheraBand. So at home, I just have a broken TheraBand. It just needs to be wider than your shoulders. And also a really long TheraBand or some sort of band that you can use. If you don't have those, it's okay, you can still do the exercises. All right. The first one we're going to do, actually will you pause? So the first exercise, we're going to work on upward rotation and retraction of the scapula, where they come slightly together and rotate. Okay, so we're just going to bring our arms to a goal pose in front of us, keeping the top of our traps, this part here, nice and relaxed. Okay, not overly pressed down, just relaxed, ribs connected in the front. So we're going to slide the arms out and up to an upward V in line with our ears, and think of reaching the pinky fingers and the arms nice and long, ribs are down and abs are connected. Then we will return back to the starting position, like the elbows are on the table in front of us at armpit level. And we'll repeat, sliding out and up, palms forward, pinky fingers reach, and then back to the starting position. So as we do this, we're not going to pull our shoulder blades down. We're just going to allow them to slide open along our back and reach wide and come back to the starting position. Okay, so you'll do that 8 to 10 times, trying to feel the shoulder blades slide on your back. So the next exercise, we'll take our hand in front of us. We're going to practice external rotation of the shoulder blades with an overhead press. So we're going to give a slight pull out on the band and keep our elbows slightly bent. Top of the shoulders are down, ribs are connected, abs are connected. And we're just going to keep that little tug on the band as we reach the arms diagonally up, almost to that V that we had earlier, and then back to the starting position, reaching the arms forward and up, keeping that traction on the band, and back to the starting position. We're allowing the shoulder blades to slide down and rotate outward a little bit, and then come back to the starting position. We're not going to pull the shoulder blades down forcefully, and we're also not going to let the top of our traps take over. So do that, this one, slowly, 8 to 10 times, until you feel the top of your trap start to take over, and then it's time to stop. Okay. Next exercise, on all fours in a quadruped position. Slightly bend your elbows, but still push away from the floor so that your chest is lifted and your neck is long with your spine. Of course, your abdominals are activated and your ribs are in. Okay, what we don't want to do is sink and allow the shoulder blades to retract toward each other, nor push so hard away from the floor that they protract this way. That feels good on its own to do, and you can do that as a separate exercise, but we want to come to the place where our shoulder blades are flat on our back before we begin, okay, pushing away from the floor. Then we're going to float one arm out to a T position, trying not to change the other arm, and we're going to float it out and up to a Y position, feeling the shoulder blade rotate outward and upward with our arm. Then we return to the starting position. We reach out with the arm and diagonally up and back to the starting position. Again, do this one 8 to 10 times, thinking about the shoulder blade rotating outward and up with the arm. I'm going to do the other arm. So we reach the arm to a T. Let me scoot away from my baby's chest. And we reach out and up and back to the starting position. Out and up, keeping the abs engaged, and back to the starting position 8 to 10 times. For this exercise, you're going to take a very long band and sit on it. If you don't have a long enough band, that's okay. Do it without the band. So we're going to reach outward so that we don't decompress the shoulders too much. This is like our second position in ballet to start. And then we're going to reach diagonally up and forward like we're hugging a really tall skinny tree and come back to the starting position. As we reach out and up, the shoulder blades rotate outwardly, and then we come to the starting position and they stay wide. Okay, we're going to do this one also 8 to 10 times, as long as we can keep the traps right here relaxed. Okay, and then you'll repeat it with the arms without the band, floating them out and up like you would to 5th high, and to 2nd, from 2nd to 5th high, and to 2nd position. You can also do other positions of the arms, 4th high, 4th high, 1st position, keeping the shoulder blades nice and flat on the back and just feeling them slide and rotate outward as they come up and then back into place as they lower. All right, dancers, after all of that work, the muscles under your scapula and all around might be a little sore. And if they are, then that's great. You know that you're working the proper muscles for your port de bras now. So whenever you're balancing or using your arms while you're dancing, now you can think about the shoulder blades rotating and sliding on your back as you move, okay? Let's go ahead and just take the arm nice and wide and cross it over and stretch the back of your scapula and the muscles you just worked. And we'll do the other side, allowing your traps to relax and float down. And we'll take neck circles, stretching the top of the shoulder away from the ears. Other direction. Arms together and down. Thank you.